Hello and welcome to Schellhammer TV. I am here with Dr Schellhammer himself and we're going to be discussing his theory of human development. Now, Dr Schellhammer has over 40 years in the field of psychology, psychotherapy, economics and philosophy. He is also the founder of the Schellhammer Business School in Spain, which is a British accredited school, and the Schellhammer Institute. So today we are going to be discussing, like I said, your theory of human development, which can be found in his book, Architecture of the Mind. And with this book, you can follow the whole process of human development from prenatal all the way to the end. Now, Dr. Schellhammer, anyone who knows you understands that according to your theory, everything starts prenatal. But what do you mean by that?
Yeah, to explain that, I start with the method to understand. We need to know how we can approach to understand what is going on with human development. So in meditation, hypnosis, we can go back step by step to the prenatal time. And what is really very special is that we get out information about how development happens. In other words, it starts with influences from the mother, the food of the mother, emotional state of the mother. All this influences, let's say, the development of a fetus. There is also the father, there may be other kids, there is a social life around, and all these factors is registered in the process of development. That means first we build up ourselves with emotions. That's the foundation of human life. Again, to repeat, it's with meditation we can explore this world and we get an understanding how a fetus is developing during 9 months. So the social life around a family, around a fetus, if you want, is rich, is diverse. There are maybe illnesses in the field around. There may be scarcity of anything, fights in the family, other problems that create permanent stress or periodic stress during prenatal time. And yeah, we can explore with meditation how it affects the growth of the prenatal baby.
Okay, so you're saying, whilst the fetus is developing, the whole surrounding areas of the mother has an impact on the fetus that's growing inside. So whether it's emotions, the food, noises, connection, all this can be felt by the fetus?
Yes, it goes so far as a fetus stores all information. And with certain methods like hypnosis or deep meditation, we can find out what happens prenatal with the fetus and around the life of a fetus development. So, and the most important result for me is that everything that is around of a development of a human, prenatal, is stored unconsciously.
Okay, because obviously research shows that by about 2 months into the pregnancy, the brain development of that fetus is way on its process. So from that point, the fetus is able to almost understand what's happening to him, and that will start building up his character, his personality, or just his awareness?
It's more than awareness. Certain awareness. It is the fetus participates on what's going on with the mother first and what's going on in the social life around. And this is not simply stored as an information, but it shapes the development of the mental functions. For the better, for the worse, it blocks development, it stimulates development. Some factors like care, love, talking to the fetus, music, happiness in general, that gives a lot of stimulation. I would even say this is the condition that later on a human can say, I love life.
Wow. And I do know, obviously, from some research previously conducted, when a child's being fed by the mother, things such as diabetes or other disorders relating to food can actually be developed, or a foundation laid down for those during the prenatal time. What other detrimental factors can occur during the prenatal process?
Yeah, where to start? The first, it is what I said, the social life, the emotional state of the mother. There can be depression on mother sides, there can be violence in the family in general, there can be even war around, or other traumas that not directly affect the fetus, but indirectly the fetus realizes, is concerned with what is going on here around in this life. I also would say that in the very early time, a fetus registers cultural elements or religious elements. Can be that certain rituals of a religion that is stored and becomes part of the foundation of life. Can be political issues, attitudes that in the same way influences a fetus and creates foundation for the developing life. So political situations, celebrations around the society as a whole, more understanding of the culture in general. This shapes as well prenatal and this for the following life.
Okay, so if we have expecting mothers watching this, and quite often, like we're told, I'm a mother myself, as long as we eat healthy, stay calm, then we're going to give birth to a nice, healthy, secure child. Are you saying those elements alone are not enough to develop a secure baby? It's more than just eating healthy and trying to be calm.
Yeah, there are two ways how mother, father, and the environment can approach to the prenatal baby. The one way is it's coming, it's just in 9 months, a process. They don't really care, some very special. So another way is daily to talk to the fetus, to talk about life, what's going on in the family, and the fetus will react. Maybe not first, second, but third, fourth, fifth months ahead, a fetus reacts on if mother is talking, father is talking, and it's always first the voice of the mother. And a fetus reacts with the body fully. And for let's say, to express something exciting, or can even express a kind of anger that does not understand. It also should be clear that if parents never talk to the fetus, the development is quite very passive. So there is no relation built up with parents, other people around in the family, and this reduces the development of mental capacities.
Okay, because obviously, around 6-7 months, the fetus can hear pretty much everything going on around. So surely that familiarity of the mother's voice would happen naturally. But you're saying actual communication with the fetus is what builds that relationship, which allows the fetus to almost be aware that it's being born into a secure and loving environment. If the interaction isn't personal, that doesn't happen.
Right. I would say that unconscious relations to the members of a family start also prenatal. If there is quite a passive development, not daily talking with the fetus, also from the father, then the development is low, not strong. Can happen that together with, let's say, depression of a mother, illnesses in the family, or other difficult life situations, paralyze certain developments already prenatal. So there is the part that creates the powerful development by nature, but not just itself, but because parents care, talk, I love you, I'm happy you come here to us, we care for you, look at the world here and nature, we will go for walks, now we go with the car here and there, and the fetus is here and realizes the communication, and there is very, very serious decisions, that passive decisions, or from nature decisions. How to nurture prenatal with communication, with attitudes, this development has lifelong consequences.
Okay, so again, imagine we've got expecting mothers or new mothers even watching this, and they're thinking to themselves, okay, I wasn't aware of this. I wasn't aware that the interaction between me and my fetus was imperative for positive development, positive mental development. Is it kind of a doomed situation, or can they, through maybe the postnatal stage, almost undo some of the negative attributes that may have been developed during the prenatal?
So you're asking about after that 9 months?
Yes, so the 9 months has been completed, the baby's here. Perhaps parents haven't been so aware of the importance of prenatal care. Is there anything they can do? Does the development continue? Can we almost rewind in time to make a more positive start? Or is it fixed? What happens prenatal, is that fixed for the rest of their life course?
Yeah, I understand. No, it's not fixed, obviously. Once the baby is here, a lot of changes are in the family life. So parents become more aware, now the baby is here, yeah? For most parents, it is also a difficult challenge, this being now here, yeah? And there's a lot of work to do. There's 24/7 care necessary, day and night, and the way parents now, postnatal, interact with that baby, that's really crucial for the future, yeah? It's also about love, about understanding, about explaining, about guidance, talking, music, and yeah, with 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, to give a lot of opportunities to learn, to explore, and to guide. That's the key. With this postnatal, obviously, you can create this, or life can create some balance. But if prenatal, there were traumas, real traumas from environment, let's say war, hunger, that takes a long time to correct. Okay. Yeah.
But it can be, over time, something that can be worked on to reduce the impact of maybe prenatal care or uncare, shall we say. Because obviously, not all women realise they're pregnant straight away. It could be months in. You know, are we going to sit there feeling guilty for it, or can we go, it's okay, now we know what's going on, we can work to fix that and have a strong, secure, well-developed, mentally, physically, little human being?
Yeah, I can give an example with regressions to prenatal time. I've done it with 1,000 clients during 40 years. So we go back with meditation, then we come to the early childhood, the very early childhood. And in this state, the client can talk, can tell about what is going on, like in the past. Visually seen in the meditation, this time, first year, second year, third year after prenatal time. So, and most clients reported me this emotional components from that time. Okay. So, means fights, means noise in that sense, or absence of care, absence of understanding. Also, and this is even worse, very strong family rules are stored and dominate the development of the mental functions already at that time. And as an adult, to go back with regressions, but this you shouldn't do just like that. That's a process of 1 year or more. You can see how, or everybody can learn to see how we are shaped from this time already, and we repeat.
Dr. Schellhammer, 2 or 3 times now you've mentioned the word mental functions. What do you mean by mental functions?
Yeah, there is the brain that develops from prenatal, and there are the mental functions that needs to be developed. So this is about talking, it's about information we can store, it is about learning. In total, let's say we can calculate about 22 different functions we have to build up from prenatal, postnatal, then following years. So this must be nurtured, obviously. Nurtured means guidance, means to give a lot of opportunities for explorations. And ignoring that we need to nurture leads to reduced mental capacities. And this has consequences for the rest of life.
Are these mental functions almost like our tool belt of abilities to maybe process information, understand what's going on, our instincts? What are the 22 mental functions, or the main mental functions that guide us through our life?
Yeah, okay, there's the 22, that's a lot, yeah? So it's described in my books in more details, but certainly first thing is about communication we learn. We learn to understand meaning, the meaning when mom is talking, dad is talking about certain events. We learn about what is right, what is wrong. We learn prenatal emotional situations, how to deal with. We copy patterns, attitudes from father, from the mother, from the culture around. So, and these are all kinds of mental functions that, let's say, it grows like flowers, let's say, yeah? And if we give the right water in, everything can grow. So, and if you have a plant at home and you never give the water to the plant, what will happen? The same is with the postnatal development, yeah? Reduced development, stunted development. And I must say it's a bit very heavy about the global, let's say, status of mental functions. 3, 5, 7% of 100% are developed mental functions. All the rest, since millenniums, we have ignored or only used it in little bits. So we are at the beginning of human development, and that's the drama of today in the collective world.
And would you say by understanding the importance of prenatal time, the way we develop as human beings from awareness, through love, through care, through prioritizing the child and being aware that we need to make them into secure, high-functioning human beings, do you think we could then perhaps have a more aware society which can then almost reduce some of the chaos that we are living in today? I mean, after all, we are facing a global disaster at the moment and everything is man-made. So could we perhaps undo some of that chaos by being more aware of the importance of human development and the role we have as parents?
Sure, the drama begins with the fact that most people on this planet don't even know why they are on this planet and what for they are on this planet. Most parents, they have no idea when they create a baby what the consequences are, the consequences of the development. Summarized in one short image is copy-paste starts prenatal. For most people, most attitudes, patterns of life are in the very early childhood stored and copied, and this then shapes the entire life, but on a very low level of capacities, and this should change globally.
So those parents or expecting parents or wanting to be parents, those out there who think to themselves, let's have a baby, it's going to make everything better. Maybe there's a problem in the relationship, in the family. Obviously, some cultures depend on having children for care later on in their life, say retirement age and forwards. Do you think these are maybe some of the reasons to why we have a global society that isn't necessarily working in a successful way? Do you think these parents need to stop and go, okay, what is the reason for our wanting to have a child, and how is it going to have a global effect rather than just immediate effects?
Yeah, during decades of explorations, I made notes about what are the motives that the people want a baby. And I found 30 motives. They are all egocentric motives to have a baby. And this will never solve anything on the planet, because it's copy-paste.
Just increase the population,
yeah.
Which brings us more problems.
Yes, I would say that. But there are two other very strong attitudes that I would say allows it to enter into such a project. Because once we create the baby is here for a life. Yeah. So, and if we start with poor conditions, this will shape the life of a human. Yeah. So it's about mental capacities that parents can give to the prenatal, postnatal baby, to the small kids and so on. It is about the understanding parents have about the meaning of life, that is developing the potentials, using potentials to understand what we are. Includes that parents should start first with self-knowledge first. So if parents have heavy traumas or just very poor understanding of humans, they reproduce it, and that's why we have 80% of the global population. They are on lowest level of development. They can never get out of the mess, and that's not correct. So we should know before we start.
It's interesting you say about self-knowledge or personal development. Obviously in the workspace we hear it all the time. Personal development is going to make you more successful, maybe better at your job, but actually that personal development needs to begin at the start, not necessarily when we're already formed adults. And perhaps, like you say, with the parents themselves, so that change happens at the beginning.
Yes, right.
And guys, if you're interested in what Dr. Schellhammer means by personal development, whether it's before you have your child or once the child's here, or even in the adult life, put your comments down below and we will make a video on that. Dr. Schellhammer, thank you.
Yeah,
and
you're welcome.
Next time.